Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Shelly Sharpe Memorial presented by Spinners on the Green. We're here at Vista del Camino, the XL layout, and here is your leader, Jennifer Allen, sits at +4. Callie McMorran, 5 behind her at +9, and 5 behind Callie is Ohn Scoggins, who's sitting at +14. This is your FPO lead card. There are 9 women in the division, so we have 3 threesomes out here, and getting started, hole number 1, 14 out of the 18 holes are the exact same that we've seen on the MPO side. There's just 4 of the holes, 3 of them being in the back 9, where they play from a different tee pad. So hole 1, exact same. You've got the triple Mando and all ready to go. Here is Jennifer Allen. She finished runner-up at this event last year. And she now lives in the Arizona, well, I was going to say the Arizona area. We're going to go with the Phoenix area, which is also in Arizona. Callie McMorran, who's been traveling around the country extensively, getting into running tournaments and clinics, also setting up retail shop wherever she goes. Out here playing this weekend. Of course, we also know Ohn Scoggins, who had a very uncharacteristic opening round and didn't really seem to get it together for her second round either. So not that common we see Ohn in such a deficit to really anyone when she's out competing. See if she's can make any kind of charge here today. Tickling just a couple of chains there. Ohn clearly known as a putting assassin out on the course. But she might lack in distance. She makes up for in putting. And well, Callie right off the bat, opening with a solid putt from one knee. Just like that, she's going to narrow the gap between her and Jennifer by a stroke. As you can probably hear, just a little bit of a light wind out here. There wasn't much wind to speak of on the opening round on Friday. Second round did have some significant wind throughout the round. And here we are during Sunday's round. About 10:45 or 11 o'clock in the morning. We're seeing and feeling just a little bit of wind. Temperatures right around 70 degrees. Hole 2, 369 feet. Commonly see the right side hyzer line played, something that comes in with a little bit of angle, usually gets a skip or 2 toward the basket. If you can beat this first tree with something that's hyzering behind it, you're likely going to be up there looking at a putt. Little forward skip, but not much there. And of course, everyone knows the power that Jen possesses. And she is the world record holder for distance, 568 feet. It was about 5 years ago she set that record.
Nice shot, oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
And a running, lunging Ohn.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's going for it.
She certainly is going to have to try and make a move here today. She says she never lays up for anything, and that is definitely Ohn's motto out there. Callie says that's exactly how you lay up. Ohn is not one for laying up. She is a fearless putter. Though Jen is pin high, just really completely blocked off there by that low-hanging branch. So she'll pitch under for the par, and that's what we're going to see from the entire card here. Everyone right next to the pin. Well, Ohn has a 10-footer, but you see just how much she sets up and gets dialed in for those. She's automatic. Thanks to Huss Brewing. Now we head over to hole 3, a couple feet shorter. you could take a very similar line, except for you do have to worry about that, little recessed area back there for kind of that grate and others. I don't want to call it a sewer, maybe a easement of sorts for any rain wash stuff. Sometimes words are tough. Again, playing that out to flex back. That is a beautiful shot. Putting her right there. You see Ohn throwing from the tee pad. A moment ago, you saw Jen to the right of the tee pad. So if you're new here and you didn't hear the explanation in any of the other 10 videos,
I tired of throwing I am on this hole.
most of the holes on this course will have an option either to the left or the right of the tee, or sometimes both, to tee left or right of them. There are concrete type tee pads there, but they're incredibly slick, even in the driest of conditions. Again, I'm not a geologist, nor do I know anything about concrete or finishing or anything of that nature, but I know they're incredibly slick, even when it's dry out. So that's why they give them the option on most holes to tee from the sides. So if you're wondering, which I know you are, per the comments, that's exactly what the situation is. And for the record, it's been like that for a number of years, so this is not new. Jen doesn't capitalize, and we'll have to walk away with the par and no strokes lost or gained to the other two card mates.
Because I like to play disc golf.
Of course you do, Callie. And that was in reference to how much she's been selling and vending and touring around doing other things that are involved with disc golf, but she hasn't been playing as much, and I think that's going to change here in 2022. We'll see her competing more often. So 381 feet, hole 4, OB all around the basket, left, behind it, and to the right of it. So it somewhat sits out on a peninsula of sorts. You really got to appreciate the low skip shot that you see from Callie. Not necessarily big flares at the end, and so she's able to keep them a little bit more controlled. That'll give Jen a look from probably just inside the circle. And great positioning for Ohn. And Callie. And Callie stepping up in very quick fashion. She knows exactly what she wants to do, which is a layup, and she's committed to it. So waste no time. And Jen from just inside the circle, little left on the short weak side. I believe it was this tournament 1 year ago, almost to the day, that Jen was a little bit frustrated with something with her short range putting, and she kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to change it up entirely. I'm going with the turbo putt. And she just started launching them that way for her short range putts. And I was there filming, and I think that was exactly a year ago. So it looks like that's kind of her focus when she's at that short range. Hole 5, 340 feet. Plays to the slightly elevated pin. And I always talk about the two trees at the end of this basket. If you somehow get past the pin, those two trees will certainly become a frustrating enemy of yours. So you need to be short of those two trees, whether it's on your drive or your approach. The low release It's going to put Callie inside the Mando, but likely again in that pitch-up zone.
Come on, hurry.
Getting a little demanding with that one.
Good shot on. Thank you. Come on.
She may not have all the distance, which she recognizes, but she certainly has the accuracy.
Some new technique, huh, bro? Shit.
Yeah, if it'll sit.
Ohn, who's the forehand specialist in the group, giving her teammate and buddy Callie a little bit of a hard time. Ohn for birdie.
I get the basket every day, but they would
And I'll be the first. I've seen Ohn play a lot of golf throughout the years. I mean, dating all the way back, seeing her in the World Championships in the Final Four in 2014. And this round, I have now seen her miss more putts than I think I have in any other round ever. Just in the first few holes. So certainly not on her best game here. In fact, just a few months ago, we were at this course in a very different layout for the Phoenix Ladies Open, and I'm not sure Ohn's putter ever touched the ground. She shot a 9 or 10 under on, again, a very different course, but something's not clicking for Ohn there on the putting green. Las Vegas Challenge coming up in just a few weeks. Jeff Jacqua and his whole entire crew and Jeff Jacqua Events. Gracious hosts up there in the Las Vegas area, and I know he's out here competing this weekend. The par 4, 783 foot, hole number 6, OB on the left and on the right, also deep of the pin. A couple of controlled shots is what you're looking for. Maybe that puts you in line for a birdie, but that's a pair of 400-foot drives that would be required. Controlled 400-foot drives at that. That is awesome. What a shot by Allen. Little flex. Turns over left to right, then gently fades back. That is a crush. Get in front of that tree, and it does. That'll work. That's good positioning here for Ohn. You know, having this entire left-hand side wide open for her, and for her to do exactly that. Throw the forehand. Trying to keep the OB out of play on the left side of the fairway. Callie can do the same. Check a little win, left to right. As she's doing that, I'm going to thank Spinners on the Green, our presenting sponsor here of the tournament. Keith, Ashley, Alex, Dan, just the entire crew, everyone that's any part of Spinners, who are really making this event and so many of the events here possible. And I think Allen's gone deep of the pin. So I know I mentioned a pair of 400-foot drives. Well, that might be exactly what she did, or 425 and 375 maybe. And quite honestly, the reason you're able to see this coverage, another local gentleman, Kyle, was helping out. He goes by Spicy Boy. He was out here and captured the footage here for this FPO round. This is all bonus content.
I don't think you can see it. Oh, okay. I was like, do they have like...
And just a huge, huge shout out and thanks to him. Oh, and so close. That was Callie for her par. Putting to the elevated basket. Here's Ohn. This is for her par. Okay, okay. That's what you'd expect. Women are talking about the headwind putt that they have, and
No, that's I agree. I just thought it was funny because you look like you're all lined up to like run it, and then you're like, like that's stupid. Oh, I agree.
and Jen doesn't want to mess with it. So, although there for the birdie, look, Jen opts to pitch it underneath, and she just wants to protect that lead that she's got over Callie. She started with a 5-stroke lead over her, and that's what it is again, back to 5 strokes. We head over to hole 7, 645 feet. Pretty straightforward in that you really want to throw it to right about here, and then you have another 325 to the pin. So there's not a lot to it. You have the mandatory tree on the left side of the fairway. That's something that you have to navigate right of it. They basically don't want you throwing over toward the road and then cutting off any distance or bringing the road into play. Keep it away from the fishermen, and perfect. I recall in some of the comments from this weekend, somebody asked if I was feeding in some of these little chirping bird sounds like they do at the Masters in golf, and the answer is no. I just think there's a couple of nests possibly in the trees, and that's why they're so prevalent, and you can hear them so much in that one specific spot. I was not clever enough to fill in the back audio with some of my own chirping bird sounds. Ohn can maybe get a skip. That one's getting up on her. Yeah, you really need that to be tighter to the left side.
I think we're right next to each other.
And then possibly skipping toward the pin to give a look. Jen, however, perfect position.
Oh, I let it go early. Hit it, stop.
All right, so I guess she helped with the commentary there.
Dude, I've been 3 in this one every time.
Now, had she gone past that tree, she would have officially missed the Mando that you see on it and would have been penalized and whatnot. However, she's prior to the tree, and therefore she can still throw around it without penalty. So
Nice shot, Ohn. Hey, this is the first time I'm not putt long this hole.
looks like this is the side. She came down somehow on the other side here. So she still had a long look at birdie. Meanwhile, Callie. I believe that was for her par. Callie given a little bit more breathing room to Jen. She's going to take the par here and have that 6-stroke advantage with about 10, 11 holes left to play. We're heading over to the water hole. Big shout out. Resistance Disc. If you use the code DGGUY, that will get you free shipping at resistancedisc.com. Free shipping on any purchase of $30 or more. So please go on out there and use them if you're looking to pick something up as a great online resource. And they're supporting this weekend's coverage, and I really appreciate it. Pretty straightforward.
We're gonna try it. Mystery disc.
I mean, I love it.
It is me, right?
Yeah.
So just moments before this, I believe Jen and Callie were talking about they're uncertain as to what the disc is in her hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say as soon as she
She believes that it's a Max, which is an incredibly overstable high-speed driver by Innova.
Still not stable enough.
Either it's not a Max, or it's really beat up. I mean, Jen has a lot of power,
See where it goes from over there.
but a Max, most
Across there.
humans could not flip like that. So either, again, it was really beat up, or it was not a Max.
I want to get sued, man. She said, I don't want to get sued.
Owen's playing the layup, and also tried to avoid litigation. That
Oh, thank you.
I can't argue with that.
I know that one destroyed.
And Callie also gonna play
Like that.
to the wide right side. I know I asked the question earlier in the weekend, what would you be throwing
flat fire.
if you were going over this? A lot of people gave some great answers, and here you're seeing
Oh boy.
maybe a different approach. One way to hopefully not lose any plastic. Pitching over to this right side.
Go. Go.
To think
That should
time
work.
We got a star too on this.
I
We have a
didn't.
star frame.
I was not on that card. I got a 5.
Jen reminiscing of days prior. Opening round, getting a star frame here. This is not an ad for the Bushnell Edge rangefinder. Although they are amazing supporters of disc golf over there at Bushnell. And I do appreciate everything they do.
Sorry.
I just don't want YouTube demonetizing me. Come on.
Roll the goddamn dick. Thanks for spotting, girlie. It's
I'm
okay.
doing what I can.
It's okay.
Callie, unfortunately, coughing another one up, and she's going to go to plus 11. That means plus 2 on the round. Jen's going to wait for a brief distraction to pass. That's a solid putt.
Stupid.
After finding the OB, she'll walk away with the best possible score of bogey. And Ohn Scoggins will collect her disc eventually and take the par and move on. Still 11 behind our leader in Jen. So they move. Hole number 9, we're actually, even though I know I'm showing you the drone footage from this angle, they get to play from a shorter right side tee, actually, although the green is still the same, just as dangerous. And clearly, I think that's the most important part of this hole anyway, with that tree, which we're going to kind of pivot around as we come into this green. So this is on the short right-hand side, so it's really just a direct line at the basket. But it's 324, and you still have the OB water, but then also the OB sidewalk on the right, so you can't just blast it wherever you want. And I guess we see a little left to right wind. So that'll be my question in the comments. I've got some discs and double G beef jerky and other things to give away, so you need to answer this in the comments. Which tee would you rather throw from? The one here on 9, down here at the bottom. That's, Jen's looking for that to hook up. That is a great shot. Or would you rather throw from the, I'll call it more picturesque, but 10 times more dangerous tee from up top that you've seen in the other rounds of coverage? That's what I want to know in the comments. Tell me which one, and tell me why. Is it the danger? Is it the beauty? What is it that would make you want to tee from one or the other? Pretty simple approach for Ohn. Callie from middle of circle 2. This has to be 40, maybe 42 feet.
Let's go.
Let's step her. Great putt by Callie. That's going to bring her back to +1 for the round. And that's where Jen is +1 for the round. She'll try and get back to par.
Go ahead if you want to finish.
We're in no rush. I'm working on that. You like that? Yeah, I love it.
I'm like, now
Callie says
Zone in the 10 footers.
priorities. Callie says she's been working on the stepper, but needs to make the 10 footers. Ohn in for the par, and Jennifer is going to also walk away at the par. So that means her lead will arrive. Callie McMorran and Ohn Scoggins not really making much of a charge here. We're seeing Jill, Sandra, and Sammy all in their respective places, and then Emma and Jamie rounding it out. Thank you guys so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you comment to win, and we'll see you for the conclusion and the final 9 in just a few moments.